Welcome to the 10th episode of This Week in Astro, and it's a week ending the 14th of May. We start off every week taking a look over the With Astro repo, right? And you can find that at github.com/with Astro. First off, this week was a week of bug bashing. Yeah, so they were all bashing away trying to get as many of the GitHub issues down. And so Ben tweeted, right, just on day one of bug bashing, and being with the team was out of this world for him. And it started with 130 issues, and by the end of things, it finished with 74. Amazing team effort, amazing collaborative effort from all those who took part, especially in the bug bashing. So now we're on to the release logs. And there was a release, and it was the release of Beta 28. We see fixes here towards the API routes, changes that should, well, better error hints that surface when you're utilizing packages that should be declared externally to the server, right, to the SSR mode. Just general bug fixes, improvements, right the way down from the core into the packages themselves. However, Matt realized yesterday that there was a wee setback and he had to regress it back to to the beta 27. So the most up-to-date release candidate that is out right now is version 27. That is the most stable one. So yeah, beta 28 on hold. Thanks Tony for the catch, mate. Good catch. However, there has been packages releases made to the individual integrations. Now, this is actually one of the great things about Astro, where they decided to remove a lot of the packages from the internal Astro. So what used to come with Astro was all the renders were packaged with Astro. A lot of the third-party tooling was bundled along with it, and this made Astro quite big in terms of an NPM download, and they've done a fantastic job of it. One of the design decisions that they did to was to take all the renders and all the third-party tools and and the ones that are relevant to the core, wrap them and put them, individually, and so they're managed as individual modules and packages. And this allows for better maintenance. So what we've seen there was the hold on the actual release of version 28. However, React got an improvement where the hydration, where there were certain failures that were happening on React 18, especially when it came to the client directive of client only, not really being applied properly. So Ben took the time to actually fix some of the failures that were happening with the hydration selectors that were being applied to the version 18 of React, the latest version of React. So cheers, Ben, for that. Svelte got an upgrade as well by Fred, who managed to fix a couple of pure dependency bugs as well. So those who are using Svelte do upgrade to that, so that should help you there. Vue, again, same pure dependency bug that cropped up in Svelte, cropped up in Vue. And yep, part of the bug squatting was Fred managed to fix them. Next up, we have Pascal Claxon, right, who managed to sort out some Netlify redirects for us, to sort out some Netlify redirects that were happening on the Netlify Edge adapter, and we appreciate it because he's doing some cutting edge work with this stuff, and more on that later. Next up is Juan. Juan, thank you very much for your work over the past week. It was really great to see you've been on actual fire, buddy. So yeah, what we see with Vercel is pretty much changes to the way that it deploys multiple targets, especially when you build into the serverless side of things, where your code's not transpiled into CommonJS anymore. It is strictly EMS. By all means, do check out the README because it's been updated as well, and you'll find that on the Vercel integration repo. Next up is Ben tweaking his new baby by the looks of things. So the create-astro is Astro's install wizard through the command line. Coloring and gradients. Oh, lots of gradients. He's teasing us with some more colorful gradients on the command line tool. Next up is the princess of developer tools, and she's been hard at work. So from here, what we're really seeing is additional support being added to TypeScript. TypeScript support checking through all aspects of the Astro file itself. We get it in the type in the code fences right at the top, the Astro front matter. We get it within the actual JSX side of the HTML templating. And there's better support for prop completions that are coming in through through the actual type files from TypeScript themselves. improving performance and prop completions for packages that are coming in from third-party libraries and SDKs, and not only that, for our own props as well. There's a number of fixes that came in, especially with the code folding that happened within the script tags, and a couple of tweaks here and there, especially when it came to like completions inside particular parts of the Astro file. Erica, honestly, it's fantastic the way you're doing this. So thank you very much and keep up the great work. Next up, we're on to the Epic Docs team. Now, for those who are new to the open source community, those who are new to Astro, and those who are wanting to get involved and contribute, the Docs team is a very active hub of developers all contributing towards the same project and same direction, and it's brilliant. There's so many people there that you can actually work with. It's fantastic. For instance, there's Jan, the right sidebar Thomas. There's Astro Alex or French Chris. There's Hippo. You know, there's so many new people there as well that are just contributing, and it's absolutely fantastic to see these guys flexing it and killing it. So on that note, this is a summary of the action that's happened in the docs repo this week in particular. Now, from 18 authors, there's been about 60 commits. There's so many cool people just contributing to the translation guides. It's amazing. Chris, English Chris, has also been killing it along with French Chris and Jan, and there's Thomas, there's Kevin. Great work, guys. Right, and on the note of the so this is a snapshot of the docs repo at time of recording. So what we've got left is about 22 issues left outstanding. There's been 81 odd closed recently. So yeah, take a look over here, guys, if you're wanting to basically come in and see where you can land, right? And it'll be great. 2 seconds. Right, back to here. Right, awesome. And that is that. Right, now that is the Astro news. Now we're going to jump on to the RFCs. This week there was no RFC call, predominantly because all the core team were gathered out in the hills in Utah. And if you've got an idea, if you're thinking, you know what, Astro can do with this, or I've came across this, come to the RFCs, and you could by all means come and post it within the actual discussions pages. The RFCs is pretty much the place where if you want to really influence a project, do come and take a wee look. You can always start a new discussion here as well and keep up to date with all the current discussions. What's on the table that I like to basically focus about is there's a couple of people that are talking about things like, for instance, this gentleman here would like to make Astro Global available outside of the Astro files. Next up is this proposal by Erica started to basically provide direct TypeScript support. This is a tweet put out by Matt Pocock, who is the creator of the TypeScript error checking package. He actually put out this lovely tweet the other day, right, to basically thank Erica for the translator now, which you know helps is supported in the Astro build, well, Astro files. Check out this project by Matt Pocock, the TypeScript error translator. And this just got sent by Erica, right? It basically said, I've added TypeScript checking support on view props on Thursday, and it shows the TS errors. Look at those errors. Look at those errors. I mean, Jesus, look at those errors. Next up is the community showcase, right? This week in the showcase, we have a bunch of UX designers from the south of France who are putting together a fantastic UI course, right? This entire site and their entire package seems to be delivered via Astro, and it looks really, really cool. So, Yana and Daniela, fantastic work, and we wish you all the best of luck when it comes to your actual UI course. I cannot wait till the end of the hackathon so that way I can actually go through all these fantastic projects that are coming on stream pretty soon. But nonetheless, we've got a couple to demonstrate. The first one is astro-compress made by Nikolov, right? This is fantastic. He came in a while ago asking about, you know, how do we get rid of white space? take your already optimized output from Astro and just run it through a post compression stage as well. This is fantastic. By all means, check it out. It is npx astro add compress, right? Astro-smartlook, which is a single integration, which is just a component integration, which I like. You know, you just install and add it to the top of your page. And what SmartLook is an actual analytics platform. So what he's managed to do is a very simple component where you just drop in your AP, your ID, right? You could even just store that in your env file and bring that in using import.meta. And so, yeah, and then you've got a very cool analytics software, right? By all means, do check these guys out. What we've got here was this week was Google Conf week, and as you can see, there's a lot of tabs, and I'm going to save you guys and Sarah from going through them just yet. We're going to actually make this into a separate video of basically things that I found interesting from Google Conf. Just to give you small tidbits and see how you could integrate the new stuff into your Astro projects. Straight into the community news. First up is pretty much Ben was basically telling us, right, how he wasn't going to be able to find time to do his actual Twitch stream this week. For those who want to those who want to follow Ben and his Twitch streams that he does on a weekly basis, well, when he can, it's twitch.tv/bholmesdev, right? There is a video that I would like to basically put you in touch with, right? And it was, right, Alex Trost over at Front End Horse, right, is on a mission to bring his entire Front End Horse site to Astro. On the case of Twitch streams, right, Learn with Jason has a couple of episodes here that I think that you might find interesting. Learning Netlify's edge functions. Now, Jason himself is an actual DevRel engineer over at Netlify. This is a great, this shows you the simplicity and the ease in which you could utilize edge functions in your Astro project. Yes, next one up is Nate. Nate is going to be doing a stream on Tuesday evening, right? For a meetup group for those who are in Chicago. You could go there in person, and it's part of the WebAssembly Chicago meetup crew. And he's going to be there on Tuesday evening on May the 24th around 7 p.m. Central Time, but it's going to be also online, so we're going to stream that in the Astro Discord community as well for those who want to pop in and listen to hear Nate and his pals talk about WebAssembly and everything else. Next up is an article that is a nice post, is an interesting post itself, right? That basically takes a holistic look over Astro from Brian's point of view. And by all means, do give this a wee look, and by all means, do take a wee look over Launch Darkly as well and their product offering to see whether or not it'll be something for you and your teams. Next up is a couple of articles that are talking about Astro and Next. These two articles are fantastic. One by Ecom and the other one over at LogRocket as well. And sorry, and this one was done by Cole Gavin as well. For those developers who have spent a fair bit of time working with these tools, I mean, for instance, Next has been around since about 2016, right? That is about 6 years worth of developers, ecosystem, product offerings, projects. The amount of resource and learning materials that there is surrounding Next is insane. It is almost tantamount to what there is for React. However, my 2 cents on this whole entire, discussion is probably similar to the line that Fred took when he was doing the rounds right at the start of Astro launch, was that the two are you're really comparing apples to grapefruit here. They're not the same. What Astro does is it looks to provide static sites with little to zero JavaScript as possible and this is aimed for fast content being delivered to end users. Whereas what Next and the whole React paradigm, the single page application paradigm falls into was that, first of all, Next was a solution to that single page problems. A lot of single page problems that came across when it came to multi pages, routing, SEO. How are we going to render this shit on the client and on the server? How are we going to make the React experience better than what it was? And you know, it's like they drove that, they drove those questions and they found the solutions and they've done a fantastic job there. And what they've done is create a solid ecosystem for those who are willing to make really highly interactive and dynamic applications on a single code base. And if your single code base is React, you're going to be fucking right at home in Next. Whereas what Astro is not just a single code base. Astro allows you to utilize any UI framework, and if you wish to add your own UI framework, you can do, right? Um, it is unrestricted and open, and the several caveats that Astro follows that Next doesn't is that it adheres and tries to adhere to the open web standards as much as possible. So that basically, you know, that throws that question directly to, well, is the two the same? And they're not. They're two different products that offer different solutions for different use cases. By all means, check them two out. Next up is a great little article, very well written article on talking about their migration from Next to Astro. Yeah, just on the flip side of what we were just discussing there, take a look over Jan's experience. It's really insightful, guys. Highly recommend it. Next up, we've got an announcement by a third-party open source e-commerce platform called Vendure. Now, Vendure are a headless e-commerce framework, but where it got my attention was that our pal Astro is there on the list as well. And it's good to see, albeit Astro's not even version 1 that is included with its contender. We're going to take a look at over their Astro storefront, and you'll find that here on github.com, Astro Vendure storefront. And here's the demonstration, guys. So this here is a demonstration of an e-commerce site, and here is a laptop going for 129,000 euros. So this is going to be the next year's Mac by the looks of things. We'll just add that to the cart. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is an actual little e-commerce store, guys. Right, built on Astro, utilizing server-side rendering and all the goodies that Astro's came out with. And not only that, taps into the Vendure SDK, so you know you get your databases and all this stuff. You've got your shopping cart here, you've got your logins, you've got your customer logins, registration forms, etc. Fantastic job. Next up, in the same breath as e-commerce sites, Jaden over at Snipecart takes a look over at of what Astro is, you know, as a conceptual level. What this does is basically goes from, you know, their experience and what they see Astro to bring to the table. And this is Snipecart for those who are not aware. By all means, check it out, and you'll be able to add your shopping cart to your Astro sites now. So yeah, that's fantastic. The server-side rendering is a whole new ballgame for Astro, and as you're seeing it, there's a lot more vendors coming taking notice of Astro and being able to provide their SDKs for it. This e-commerce space is only going to grow. Next up is from Oseda, right, who's a community member of ours, and this is just a small demonstration of his Astro Auth plugin for the hackathon submissions. Pop it into Discord, the Discord Auth. Once you're logged in, you get all your servers that you're registered to. Do check out the submissions that are coming into the hackathon submissions channel. They are actually brilliant. He's even set up a wee video for us for you to go about creating your own Discord server list utilizing Astro. So that wee thing, that the wee demonstration that we just seen, got a wee 20-minute video. Right, next up is Rodney. We've got a couple of posts from Rodney this week, right? The first one is to disable Astro telemetry. Rodney basically giving us a quick overview, right, to the temporal API. No, this is basically a better API over the dates API. Next up, now this is a kick-ass video, right? So let me get this right. This uses live blocks and lit along with Astro to basically provide this multiplayer collaborative experience where you and someone else can basically work on the same thing together, right? So here we go. You see it? Users flying in, users flying out. You got one side doing action, the other side seeing it. This is genius, guys. Like legit, imagine this is one way of collaborative team development, and Chris has been working on this, I believe, for his hackathon project. So best of luck with that, dude. Next up is this is a fun little post that I read. But it's got nothing to do with Astro. It's just got the fact that he was a React developer and his thoughts and opinions on React. Next up is Okiki But he is also the core author and maintainer and developer of Bundle.js. Bundle.js is an in-browser bundler, right, that utilizes ES-Build under the hood. Turn around and take code that you could import from the internet, stick it into a bundle package, and then you could put that into your code straight away, right? So instead of, it's like sometimes there's projects where you don't have the luxury of setting up a build chain, or you just want to basically get all your packages right from all your CDNs, bundle them into a single JavaScript file, and then that way you can just put it into your project and keep going. There's many advantages, especially the fact that this is located within the browser. And what Okiki's done here is utilize a lot of the cutting edge technologies. For instance, ES Build WASM. He's got put in a terminal in here. For instance, these here, right, is like we could look up npm and just add modules in, right? So what I've demonstrated here was we're bringing in Lodash, we're bringing in DataFN, Firebase, and the Firebase component SDK, right? And what we're going to do is basically bundle all these together. Happy days. Tells you a wee bit more analysis and how it all works. I mean, by all means, guys, do check out Bundle.js. It is a fantastic wee site and a fantastic wee project that Okiki's been working on. For those who don't know, Okiki also helped build the Astro Playground, the online repo that we could play with Astro in, which is fantastic, guys. And those who aren't aware, this is your Astro component file under the hood. Next up on the list, right, of community news is a new member. Now this is a fantastic wee project. I highly recommend you going out and checking it out because Harshdeep has put a fair bit of time, and he is a talented wee developer, right? So yeah, check it out and take a wee gander, right? The Pascal corner, right? And what we're seeing here is his weekly hack, right? So what we're seeing here is Pascal's latest hackery on Astro, and he's demonstrating HTML streaming. HTML streaming responses from a server. This is fantastic. Now, the truth is, Astro itself, right, Astro components are under the hood all async iterators. What that basically means is that there is the ability for Astro to provide for HTML streaming. It's just that it's currently not set up just yet, but it is there. And Pascal is basically the first one I've seen to leverage this kind of technology. And what he's doing, he's leveraging it through his server worker side rendering. That whole thing that I explained last week, which was absolutely mind blowing. Right? But no, great work here. And yes, he also released an article talking about Astro working on Cloudflare workers. Now, so for those who are interested in learning about the edge, learning about server-side rendering, Pascal has basically got about 4 or 5 posts together that basically talks about it, how you could go about, for instance, here. And this here is something that I've not even took a look at, but it was something that just recently been posted in the Discord community member Pranav. I know he was wanting to get this done for a wee while, and I'm glad to see that he's managed to do this, because this is quite cool, this wee network graph. Lastly, I'm going to end with this, is the countdown to the Astro Hackathon. You got just over a day left, guys. Wish you all the very best. And on that final note, guys, I wish you all the very best in your week ahead. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, keep safe and be healthy. Right. Peace and love. Peace and love.